Feeling exhausted every morning isn't normal, and it's not your age. It's what happens when you ignore the basics for years and expect your body not to notice. Look, I've spent over a decade working with men over 35 who swear they're doing everything right. They train, they eat clean, they sleep more, and yet their energy keeps getting worse. In this video, I'll show you what's actually breaking first, the real causes of male fatigue, the systems that shut down quietly, and why most doctors completely miss this until it's too late. Most men accept declining energy and mental sluggishness as a natural byproduct of the aging process. But if you're watching this now, that means you're not ready to accept that fate for yourself. And you don't have to. Let me be clear here. You are not tired because you are older. You're tired because your system has been running on empty fuel, broken wiring, and wrecked hormone signaling for years. The modern lifestyle has turned your body into a malfunctioning machine. You've been told the problem is your age, but this is simply untrue. The real problem is biological collapse. Your physiology has been under attack for years, maybe even decades, from what human beings now call normal living. Processed food, artificial light, bad sleep, chronic stress, and a nutrient-depleted food system and underlying dysfunctions that most people know nothing about. Think about it like this for a second. Would you ever buy a brand new car, fill it with the cheapest quality fuel, hammer it up and down the country every single day at full throttle, putting thousands of miles on the clock, and expect it to be running efficiently in years to come, and then have the audacity to question why it's making funny noises and burning out? You wouldn't, would you? But this is exactly what men are doing all over the world when it comes to their body. And to make matters worse, they've never once taken the opportunity to lift up the hood on their body to see what's really going on inside. At best, they've been to their doctors for a once-over and a vastly incomplete blood test that of course tells them everything is normal, despite them feeling like garbage way too often. These tests, by the way, are the equivalent of a mechanic giving the tires a kick on your car and saying everything seems fine here, even though the engine sounds like a snoring alcoholic. You see, what you call tired is actually deep metabolic malfunction. In the health space, we talk about a thing called allostatic load. This is the hidden tax your body pays every day when stress never shuts off. For men over 35, this is the silent killer of energy, testosterone, and brain function. Think of allostatic load like the constant pressure on a suspension system. One bump is fine, 10 bumps are fine, but years of non-stop impact eventually bend the frame. Chronic work stress, poor sleep, nutrient deficiencies, alcohol, blood sugar spikes, blue lights at night, and inflammation all stack up. Each one forces your body to adapt, and every adaptation costs hormones, minerals, and recovery power. Over time, your cortisol rhythm flattens, your testosterone signaling weakens, your mitochondrial health slows down, and your gut-liver axis becomes overloaded. The result is exactly what most men call aging. Belly fat, low drive, morning exhaustion, anxiety spikes, and poor recovery. Allostatic load isn't just stress, it's the accumulated weight of every demand your body has had to absorb without enough support to bounce back. Here's the shocker. Men in traditionally living cultures maintain strength and energy long into their 60s and beyond. They walk tall, they sleep deeply, they wake ready to work. Meanwhile, the average Western man is dragging himself through the day by 38. That is not genetics. That is system failure caused from a way of living that human beings were never meant to live by. But here's the good news. It can all be fixed when you understand what the issue is. Your fatigue has a root. It is a perfect storm of low nutrients, broken cortisol timing, suppressed testosterone signaling, weak mitochondria, gut and liver dysfunction, and sleep architecture collapse. If you fix all of these, your energy returns naturally. If you ignore them, your life force keeps dropping year after year. Today, I'm going to break down each one, and I'm going to show you why your engine has been misfiring for years. Here are the 8 real causes of male fatigue after 35. Number 1, low magnesium. Magnesium is the mineral that runs over 300 reactions in your body and plays a role in more than 600. Think of it like the wiring harness in a truck. Without it, the whole system misfires. Low magnesium means poor muscle recovery, anxiety spikes, poor sleep, and weak ATP production. Most men are running at half capacity because our soil is depleted and processed foods strip magnesium from the body. This is why even those consuming a healthy diet are still deficient and still suffering. When your wiring is faulty, your energy drops no matter how hard you try to push through. Magnesium deficiency is one of the leading causes of chronic stress and poor resilience. And to make matters worse, stress itself depletes magnesium from the body even more. So if you're a man who feels constantly stressed, this is one of the first things you need to get right. So grab a pen and take notes, because here's what you're going to want to do. Using a combination of magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate, and magnesium L-threonate, consume around 10 milligrams of elemental magnesium per kilo of your body weight each and every single day. The reason why I emphasize elemental mag is because a lot of supplements will present themselves as containing, let's say, 400 milligrams of magnesium. When you read the small print, you can see that it says of which is 50 milligrams, let's say, of elemental mag, meaning you're only really making use of the 50 milligrams. So beware of the deception from many supplement brands. One final point on this. Due to magnesium being a nervous system relaxant, I recommend consuming most of your magnesium in the latter stages of the day, as it will lead to deeper sleep and improved recovery. Number 2, low vitamin D. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it is a hormone signal that sets the tone for testosterone, immunity, and mitochondria. When vitamin D is low, which it is on almost every blood panel I've analyzed, unless they are supplementing properly, your hormonal command center completely goes offline. You wake up tired, your strength drops, you lose drive, and because most men work indoors, your body is starving for light. Your engine needs sunlight or it never reaches full power. Now, of course, the optimal way to get vitamin D is through natural sunlight exposure to large portions of the skin, without clothes and without sunscreen to block it. Of course, this needs to be done cautiously so as not to burn. But the reality is, for most of the world, getting this natural sun exposure consistently is unrealistic. Whether due to living in a cold and dark climate devoid of sun for large portions of the year, or just because work life doesn't allow for men to get outside during peak sun hours. Therefore, supplementation becomes essential for most people. And when it comes to vitamin D supplementation, you do want to act with a little more caution when dosing it for yourself. Optimal vitamin D levels sit between 150 and 225 nanomole per liter. And for most people, this is going to require a dose of 3 to 5 times the FDA recommended, which is between 1000 to 2000 IU. Remember, the FDA guidelines are geared towards making sure you're not severely deficient. They're not geared towards optimal levels. I typically recommend most men to take between 5000 and 10,000 IU daily, depending on their blood levels at the time. This should always be consumed with a fat-based meal, due to it being a fat-soluble vitamin, and it should always be taken alongside vitamin K2, as vitamin D will increase serum calcium levels, often to levels that cannot be directed to where it needs to go, which can cause calcium buildup in parts of the body, even leading to things like kidney stones. Vitamin K2 helps to move calcium to where it should be, in particular the bones and the teeth, and away from building up inside places where it shouldn't be. One final note on vitamin D. More does not equal better. In fact, there is a limit for vitamin D, which if you surpass, you can get toxicity and symptoms of nausea, amongst other things. So test your bloods first and always consult a smart, well-informed doctor. Number 3, low zinc. Zinc is the mineral your testes depend on to produce testosterone. If magnesium is your wiring, zinc is your spark. Low zinc means low testosterone output, poor recovery, weak libido, and constant fatigue. Alcohol drains it, stress drains it, sweating drains it. No surprise, most men over 35 are severely deficient. When the spark plug fails, the entire engine loses horsepower. Zinc is one of the most critical minerals for men over 35 because it sits at the center of your hormonal, immune, and metabolic machinery. Without zinc, your Leydig cells slow down and your androgen receptors lose sensitivity. Zinc also controls protein synthesis, muscle repair, and recovery, which is why low zinc feels like constant weakness and slow healing. And of course, it stabilizes your immune system and reduces inflammation, which protects your gut, liver, and mitochondria from chronic stress damage. It's also essential for dopamine creation, so motivation, drive, focus, and libido, and insulin and blood sugar control, preventing the energy crashes and belly fat accumulation. So yeah, zinc is pretty important if the goal is to feel energized and sharp. But here's the thing, most men are deficient, not just because their diet and lifestyle depletes it and provides barely any in the food they consume, but also what a lot of people don't know is that zinc cannot be absorbed without sufficient stomach acid. And low levels of stomach acid are one of the most common issues in over 35s due to chronic stress, poor diets, medications, and other things. But there is also a natural decline in stomach acid production as we age too. So even if you are consuming zinc, you probably aren't absorbing most of it. This is why we consistently see low zinc levels on blood panels of men who are supplementing and eating zinc-rich foods. So here's what you're going to want to do. Check out my video on how to fix low stomach acid to ensure you are actually able to absorb it, and then make sure you are supplementing on around 40 to 60 milligrams of quality zinc like zinc picolinate or zinc glycinate. Number 4, broken cortisol rhythm. Cortisol is not the enemy, it's your ignition key. You actually need it to be high in the morning to wake up, to focus, and to produce energy. But most men have the opposite. Cortisol low in the morning and high at night. That means you wake up exhausted and can often be wired before bed, or constantly tossing and turning throughout the night. This is what happens when stress accumulates without recovery. Your ignition is flipped backwards. Here is what a healthy rhythm actually looks like. As I said, cortisol should peak in the morning. This is your natural wake up. In a healthy man, cortisol surges within the first 30 to 45 minutes after waking up. This is why you should delay that morning coffee for at least 45 minutes to avoid hijacking this natural process. This rise in cortisol in the morning is called the cortisol awakening response. It wakes your brain, increases blood flow, raises blood sugar for fuel, and turns your metabolism on. You should feel alert, driven, and ready to move. If you wake up groggy, heavy, or slow, your morning cortisol is likely to be low. Cortisol should then gradually fall throughout the day. Think of it like a smooth gear shift from 5th gear down to 1st. By afternoon, it should be lower but still stable enough to keep you focused and productive without anxiety or crashes. Then ultimately, cortisol should be lowest at night. This allows melatonin to rise, deep sleep to occur, and testosterone production to begin. If cortisol stays high in the evening, you feel wired, restless, or mentally overstimulated. That destroys deep sleep, suppresses testosterone, and leaves you waking up drained in the morning. Now, the reason why this rhythm is so skewed in modern men is because of years of chronic stress, late night screens, alcohol, poor sleep, nutrient deficiencies, and inflammation, which all flatten the curve. Morning cortisol drops too low. Evening cortisol spikes, and the rhythm reverses. This is why so many men wake up exhausted and go to bed wired. More and more men are presenting with dramatically low morning cortisol readings on the blood test that we run and show signs of something called adrenal hypofunction, which is where the adrenals no longer have the capability to produce healthy cortisol levels, so guys just feel constantly wiped out. But here's what you need to do to fix this. Build a sleep routine which allows for a consistent 7 to 9 hours each night. Cut back on stimulants, especially after 2 p.m. Don't overtrain, particularly in the evenings close to bedtime. Reduce screen time on the run up to bedtime and control light exposure through the eyes. And you can even use supplements like magnesium, L-theanine, or lemon balm 30 to 60 minutes pre-bed to drive recovery. You can also use 100 milligrams of pregnenolone in the morning, as this is a precursor to cortisol and will help provide the materials for healthy production first thing. Number 5, poor absorption. You could be eating all of the right nutrients, but if your gut lining is inflamed or your stomach acid is low, a lot of it won't get absorbed and it will only fuel inflammation further. That means low minerals, low amino acids, and low energy. Your gut is supposed to be a high efficiency fuel converter. Instead, it is clogged and leaking. You are not what you eat. You are what you absorb and what you assimilate. The reality is, gut issues are one of the most common problems in men today. Burping, gas, bloating, loose stools, acid reflux, etc. These are just a few of the warning signs that your gut needs help. And I have various videos on my YouTube channel that will dive deep into this area, including this one and this one. So if you feel this is an area you need to focus on because you have those symptoms, then check both of those out after this one. In short, you can take certain supplements to support your gut. Things like probiotics, prebiotics, bone broth, L-glutamine, colostrum, butyrate, BPC-157. The list is endless and many of them are truly great and very, very effective. However, the two most important areas to fix first when it comes to your gut health is your nervous system and your eating habits. The gut shuts down function when you are in states of stress, so working to control your nervous system is absolutely essential, as nothing will work if you're eating in a state of stress. stress. Another big mistake men make is not chewing their food enough and shoveling it down at 100 miles an hour as if it's some sort of race. The gut was never designed to break down full chunks of food. Your teeth are there to turn it into pulp before it even enters the stomach. So here's my recommendations. Allow for 15 plus minutes per meal and chew your food for 30 plus times per mouthful. For your nervous system, ensure you are not stressed while you are eating. Leave distractions aside and be present and grateful with the food. This all helps to prime healthy digestion. Number 6, suppressed testosterone signaling. Testosterone levels are plummeting year after year, and it's becoming a big problem for men, particularly over 35, where there is a natural decline anyway. This is leading to decreases in fertility, depression, anxiety, and all-out exhaustion and brain fog in a lot of men. I see the evidence of this every single day through men's symptoms and their blood markers. And here's the thing, even if your body is producing enough testosterone, that doesn't necessarily mean it's even being used. High SHBG and high prolactin can affect how well it is utilized, and inflammation can reduce testosterone receptor sensitivity. Think of trying to tune a radio with static drowning out the station. This is why many men with normal testosterone still feel weak and still feel tired. The hormone is there, but the message never lands. Now, fixing low testosterone naturally and ensuring testosterone is being utilized by the body properly is a complex topic with many moving parts. And once again, I have various videos you can check out for this, including this one and this one on my YouTube channel. But as a quick fire overview, here are the top 5 key drivers. Sleep 7 to 9 hours each night. Manage your stress, strength train regularly, consume a healthy diet high in protein and fats, and fix your gut issues. The intricate details can be explained in the other videos on my YouTube channel, so head over there after this. Number 7, poor mitochondrial function. Your mitochondria are the engines inside your cells. After 35, stress, toxins, nutrient deficiencies, and poor sleep choke these engines. They produce less ATP, less energy, less vitality. You feel it as weakness, brain fog, and slow recovery. If your power plants go offline, it does not matter how motivated you are, you will still feel drained. Your mitochondria help to take oxygen and convert it into ATP, the energy of life. They help to take nutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, and amino acids and turn them into raw energy. They're also key for regulating testosterone production, managing inflammation, controlling how much fat you burn through fat oxidation, and they also determine how fast you can recover. So you could say they're pretty important too. When your mitochondria are healthy and strong, a man feels sharp, powerful, and resilient. When they are weak, he feels tired, mentally foggy, slow to build muscles, slow to lose fat, and low in drive. Optimizing your mitochondrial function requires a mix of exercise forms, including strength training, high-intensity interval training, and low-intensity cardio too. It requires you to sleep 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each and every night. It requires a reduction in allostatic load, as we spoke about earlier, and it requires nutrients such as zinc, methylated B vitamins, and magnesium. You may also want to consider supplements like PQQ, coenzyme Q10, and methylene blue, as these have all been proven to improve mitochondrial function. Finally, number 8. Low deep sleep. We've mentioned sleep a few times during this training, and for good reason. It is the foundation of healthy energy levels. Deep sleep is where testosterone is made, growth hormone spikes, and cellular repair happens. But modern man gets almost none. Screens, stress, late eating, blue light, poor nutrients. If deep sleep falls apart, your energy collapses right behind it. When the factory stops repairing, the product quality drops. In this case, you're the product. Optimal deep sleep sits between 1.5 to 2.5 hours of deep sleep every single night. But most guys today are getting nothing close to this. Once again, I have a full training on how you can optimize sleep on my YouTube channel here. But in this video, let's just cover the most important foundations. Firstly, we need a consistent bedtime and wake time in order to allow the body to learn when to implement deep sleep processes. Without regularity, it gets confused. Secondly, we need a period of de-stimulation in the evenings before bed. No harsh lights, no scary movies, no intense conversations. The hour pre-bed should be spent in a calm and relaxed environment. This will allow for healthy melatonin production and ultimately deeper sleep. Avoiding large meals close to bedtime is another important tip, as is making sure your bedroom is as dark as possible and cool in its temperature. For a full breakdown, check out my video on circadian biology on my YouTube channel. But listen up, if you feel tired and weak, it's not because you are soft or lazy, and it's not because you've simply been around the sun a few more times. You've been operating with broken biology biochemistry, bad information, and a depleted system. This is not your fault. It is your environment, but you can reclaim your physiology once you understand the real causes. If you want to rebuild your energy, boost testosterone, and wake up feeling powerful again, check out my YouTube channel for all of the various videos I share on topics such as natural testosterone optimization, sleep, nutrition, and much, much more. Now let's quickly cover some of the most commonly asked questions when it comes to energy. Can I fix this without testosterone therapy? Yes, absolutely. Most men can fix testosterone production and how it is used in the body naturally without intervention. And this will be hugely important for getting your energy back to peak. Fix the chemistry and the numbers improve naturally. Is fatigue always hormonal? Almost always, yes. Hormones are control signals. When they drop, everything drops. The root cause may be something else, inflammation, infections, dysfunctions, etc. But the outcome is that the hormones become blunted and you feel that as fatigue. How fast can I feel better? Many men feel better within 7 to 14 days once they begin implementing the basics. Magnesium, zinc, and vitamin D supplementation, improving sleep, exercising smartly. These simple changes can transform your energy in less than a week, and the longer you do them for, the better it all gets. Here's the thing no one talks about. The system profits from tired men. Men who feel worn out. Men who think aging poorly and declining rapidly is inevitable. But you know better. Your energy is not gone. It is waiting for you to reclaim it using the tools I've shared in this video. So thank you for watching. If you found it valuable, please hit subscribe for more videos like this, and go check out the other videos on my channel that we spoke about throughout this video so you can deep dive into the individual topics. Speak soon.